Everybody, I thought I would post this video of a process I saw at our local craft store on how to do die cuts using a plastic that you buy here in Canada at our Jysk store. As you can see, I've already started to use it. What I did is I bought 2 meters of it and then cut it down to smaller pieces that will fit through my Big Shot die cutting plates. You use the same sandwich that you do for your normal die cuts. So basically your platform is on number 2. You take your first plate, your cutting plate, and you put it on your die cut machine. Then you put your die, and I'm using a Creative Impressions die. It's called Poinsettia's Mini Striplet. And then probably to keep the two pieces together, I would recommend using some kind of adhesive in this particular case. Otherwise, the possibility is that they might shift about. So I'm just going to take a little bit of tape and tape it to the cutting plate, and we'll just stick them down to the plate and see how that does to hold it in place. Since this is for a demo, it's not really significantly a problem for me, but I will do it just to see how that holds it in place a little bit better. Then the next important thing, which is something you'd never believe, is that you take your paper and you sandwich it between two pieces of the plastic. So you have the top and the bottom both coated with the plastic. And then you just basically lay that over top of your die on your plate. And then in this case, I'm going to make sure it's covered. Then you take your second die plate, cutting plate, and you place that over top of the sandwich of paper and plastic. So I'm just going to make sure it's all closed in. And then you run it through your die cut machine the same way as you would normally. It's a little bit more difficult because of the fact that I guess you have that second layer of plastic in there. And then you pull it out. And I'm just going to move the Big Shot over. And you take your top layer off, and it does a little bit of scratching, but not, I think it saves your plates a bit. Then you take away the plastic away from your die, and in this particular case, I'm just going to peel up the die and move it to the side. And then what I've got here is I open up the pieces of plastic, and what you've got here is the excess paper. And then, as you can see, even from the back side of the die, there's a significant amount of embossing that goes on when you're doing it this way. I think it saves you having to run it through a second time with an impression plate. It also saves you having to clean your die out because, as you can see, my die is completely clean. There's no paper stuck in it. I know people use the fabric softener sheets and wax paper and all these different techniques to clean out keep their dies from getting all the paper pieces stuck in and having to poke them out. Yeah, you still have to maybe wiggle and tussle at your paper once you've got it, but in this particular case, it seems to even release a lot of the paper easier than it would, just by wiggling it back and forth. The other advantage is all my little bits are still being held on the plastic below, and it seems to have some static in it, which kind of keeps everything kind of combined in an organized fashion there. So, but as you can see, I'm just able to move the paper back and forth, and a lot of the bits and pieces of the die are just popping out. The other thing that like I say, is that once you're done, you can see how much the actual embossing, like along the edge of the die and around the areas that are still remaining in the flowers and that are just, it's unbelievable. Like when I first did it, I was quite impressed. Also, I looked on YouTube to see if there was anybody else that had done a video on this process using this vinyl. And didn't see anybody, so I'm not sure how the people at the Scrapbook Cottage, that's our local scrapbook store here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, found out about it, but obviously somebody somewhere figured this technique out. And, like I say, to me, it's just totally impressive. So I think I'm going to be going back to Jysk and getting at least another 2 meters of the oilcloth, so that I'll have a reserve in case they stop selling it for some reason. I'm sure instead of being used as table cloths, the people are going to be selling it to all these crafters who see this video. And hopefully it helps you do better die cuts. A lot of the intricate ones are just, stuck inside the die, and it takes time to clean them out and poke them out. As soon as I'm done, I could run through another die in the same manner and not have to spend time picking out my pieces of paper from the die. So as you can see, I've got a couple more little pieces in that to pull out, but comparatively, I think it's, somewhat does a very good job. Oh, I did a little tear there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it works and how it works, but it seems to do a really, really nice job at cleaning out the dies and doing the dies in the, so that they come out of the paper in a better manner. So hopefully you'll give it a try, and hopefully you'll have access to the vinyl. So yeah, then that's what's left once you've done this technique.